Ariel Helwani in Los Angeles following the UFC on Fox press conference, being joined by UFC welterweight champion George "Rush" St-Pierre, also Rashad Evans, the #1 contender for the UFC light heavyweight title. First, let's start with Rashad. Forget about all this business stuff. You got your hand still in a cast here. How are you feeling, and what's wrong with it?
I feel pretty good. I got 3 pins put in it, and I had a fracture on the thumb, so it was really loose. It happened the first punch of the fight that I threw with overhand right, and I just went through it, but got the pins in it now. I should be out for about 5 weeks, and after that, get back to training.
So it wouldn't affect the title fight that could be coming up maybe at the end of the year or 2012.
No, I'll be healed by then, and it's gonna be no issue at all, no consequence. But just give me some time to kind of relax a little bit and make sure I stay out the gym more than anything.
All right, George, the press conference here started off a little rough because they said that Frankie Edgar was you and you were Frankie Edgar. I don't know if you noticed that, but it all worked out well, and it's a big day for the UFC. Talk about, you're one of the poster boys of this sport and of the company. Talk about how big this is for the organization.
Well, for us as a martial artist, it gives us the opportunity to perform on a bigger range of audience than we ever did before. So it's very exciting, for me to be able to perform on that level, on a bigger range of audience. It gives me a lot of butterflies.
Any chance we'll see you on American Idol? Because that is on Fox. They said they were going to do some cross-promoting, and I've heard you're a great singer.
Well, I'm a terrible singer. I'm a terrible singer. You don't want me on this. The rating will go down there dramatically.
Rashad, I know pay-per-view is obviously a very big deal for you guys, but would you be interested in fighting on one of the network shows? Because, we're talking maybe 5-6 million people as opposed to maybe 1.5 million max on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'll definitely be, interested in fighting. Like George said before, it's about having a chance to compete on that platform. And, with the audience and the demographic that they can bring in sometimes, and even having people viewing it for the first time, I would love to be able to compete on a network like Fox. It's going to get, it'll probably be more ratings than I would compete if I was fighting on pay-per-view. So for me, I look to go on there and compete on the highest stage, and having a chance to fight on Fox, or it would be cool with me.
Are you surprised it took this long for the UFC to get on a network television?
I think everything happens in due time, and I think the UFC has been taking the right steps to get to where it is right now. What they have done with the company in the short amount of time that they had it is amazing, And I think everything is just right on time, and I think the steps that they took to get to where we are right now has been amazing. So I don't think it's been too long or longer than I thought. I think it's right on time.
All right, George, and finally, let's talk about you. You've got that big fight coming up against Nick Diaz. We had just received word that he's training with Andre Ward, the boxing champion. What do you make of that?
Hey, it's good for him. Andre Ward is world champion, I'm training with some world champion as well, boxers right now, so it's good.
Is this a fight that gets you excited? I know you get up for all your fights, but considering he was the Strikeforce champion, and it's a fight that a lot of people have been talking about for a long time, and he has a very, very loyal fan base, as do you. Are you maybe a little more motivated for this fight than the other ones?
Yes, I am, because a lot of things have been said. This is a fight that there is a lot of pride into it, because he says about me that I didn't want to fight him, and I'm not a coward. I never ducked nobody. I always fought everyone that UFC put in front of me, and finally it's the fight that everyone want to see. Is the champion of Strikeforce. I'm champion for UFC. Now we're finally gonna meet, and the best man will win.
All right, and Rashad, who's your pick? Rampage or John Jones? That goes down late next month.
I gotta say John Jones. He's younger. He seems to be more hungry at this point, but you can never count on Rampage. Rampage, one thing about him is that he's a fighter. He goes out there and he fights, and I hear he's in Denver, and he's putting together a good camp out there. So Rampage might surprise him, but if I was to bet any money, I have to bet on Jones. But I won't be surprised if Rampage, he caught him with something, because that's what he's capable of doing. He's got a lot of power, and the thing about Rampage is that he has so much untapped potential, and if he really put his mind to it and got some really good people who can train him and push him to the level, he can be one of the best fighters ever. But is he going to do that? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to push himself to that level? And we'll see. We'll see. Maybe this fight is a challenge that he needs to get himself to the level. But if I was a betting man, I'll say Jones.
All right, guys, thank you for the time. Congrats on this news. And we look forward to the UFC on Fox. And, of course, GSP versus Nick Diaz in late October, and the return of Rashad Evans against the winner of John Jones versus Rampage Jackson. Thanks, guys.